Hi, I'm Mike Reynolds, a senior reporter covering the media industry with S&P Global Market Intelligence, Tech, Media, and Telecom News Team. Welcome to MediaTalk, a podcast hosted by S&P Global, wherein the news and research staff explore issues in the ever-evolving media landscape. Today, I'm joined by Mark Penn, who is chairman and CEO of Stagwell, which is a digital-first marketing network. Mark's career spans over 40 years. Before founding Stagwell, he served at Microsoft as Executive VP and Chief Strategy Officer, managing some $2 billion in advertising. He was the founder and CEO of Penn, Schoen, Berland, the market research firm that he sold to WPP. At WPP, he also became CEO of Burson Marsteller, one of the world's largest PR firms. For 6 years, Mark served as White House pollster to President Bill Clinton and was the chief strategist of his 1996 re-election campaign. He's also authored a pair of market insight books, Microtrends, The Small Forces Driving the Big Disruptions Today, and Microtrends Squared, Small Forces Driving Today's Big Disruptions. Stagwell, as I mentioned, is a digital-first global marketing network that delivers scalable, seamless solutions through a combination of top creativity and leading-edge technology. Headquartered in New York, Stagwell also has a significant presence in Washington, D.C., and operates in more than 45 countries overall and counts 13,000 employees. Stagwell trades on NASDAQ under the symbol STGW. Mark, thanks for joining us today. How are things going?
Great. Thank you for having me. Things are going quite well.
All right. My introduction hardly does Stagwell justice. Mark, can you give us a sense for the company, its various agency, its missions, and how did you bring this all together?
Sure. Look, I really had, as your introduction suggested, decades of experience across all of the disciplines in marketing. And you know what? I said, look, most of the big companies out there, the behemoths of marketing, they're behind the times. They're not digital first. They're having trouble adapting to the technology world. Actually, when Steve Ballmer exited Microsoft, he said to me, that idea you had for a new marketing company, I'll be your core investor. And so 9 years ago, Steve and I really set out to create Stagwell. And 9 years later, after a reverse merger to another marketing company that put us on NASDAQ, we're 13,000 employees in 45, maybe even 50 countries. At this point, we're one of the world's biggest providers, although we're still the challenger network because we're coming up in scale. And as we come up in scale, we provide core marketing services, advertising the type you see on the Super Bowl, social media that you see online, public relations, great research with the Harris Poll. We provide media and e-commerce. We provide extensive digital transformation, whether you see the CNN Magic Wall or the NBC Olympic site. And we have a strong advocacy group that works in politics and political campaigns. And finally, we have what we call the Marketing Cloud, which is a suite of self-service tools. So our vision here is to be the next great marketing company and to cover the field from global full service down to platform self-service. And I always say at our kind of 9-year anniversary now, we're just a teenager. Whatever you see of what we are today, we're going to be a lot bigger tomorrow.
And this teenager got on the NASDAQ exchange when, Mark? Forgive me.
3 years ago.
All right. I believe Stagwell is in the process of reorganizing a bit to become more aligned with how its clients use Stagwell services and products. This is going into effect, Mark, or has it gone into effect?
Yeah, this is going into effect over this couple of months. The clients judge you on your marketing services, your media, your digital transformation, advocacy. They look at those as almost separately. And so we're making sure that the divisions correspond to the scale the clients are looking for. And I think this is helping us move up into larger and larger clients. We recently won clients like Visa and Starbucks and Target. And so a significant number of larger scale clients, I think as they see that we've got the right blend of creativity and technology and the right scale emerging consistent with what a modern marketer needs.
I gotcha. You guys launched or are about to launch Unreasonable Studios, which is a production and creative content company led by Justin Barakis. Mark, can you please give us a little rundown on Unreasonable, if you will?
Yeah. Unreasonable is a great new group, which we basically took several of the agency's production capabilities and we said, let's centralize it in one scaled combination group that can do this production element. So when you think of marketing, some people come up with the ideas, and then that goes to a group of people that make them, and that's called production. And so we're centralizing the production, and this group can do anything from make 1,000 variations of the content of your sneaker to producing a Super Bowl quality advertisement. And Justin is incredibly experienced across both technology and creativity.
Let's talk about the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity. You were in France last month. I believe congratulations are in order.
Thank you. I think if you look through the press, we took the award at Cannes, which really was to create an experience that illustrated to our clients that we're a shoemaker with shoes. And we
Okay.
explained we create something called Sport Beach. So we
Right.
do the branding, the building, the experience. We bring together name athletes who actually volunteer for the experience with our brands to talk about the combination of athletics, branding. And this has proven to be like incredible. We started this 3 years ago. Clients really love it. We got whole marketing teams who come to meet with us and study Sport Beach and how the branding works.
Who are some of the athletes that join you this time around?
Carmelo Anthony, Sue Bird, A-Rod, Billie Jean King, Serena Williams.
These are A-listers. Good job, man.
Yeah, we got, I think about 7,000 people came through the experience for one panel or another. And we really became kind of the talk of the festival. And like I said, it's also a demonstration project to clients of kind of the level of our work. And also internally, it gets everybody working together to produce this big event.
Okay, so big sports doings in June and in France, and then again in February around that little game known as the Super Bowl. Stagwell Agencies worked at a number of clients for Super Bowl 2025 and in prior years. Can you give us a little bit of recap of what you guys were involved with the NFL championship game this past February?
Sure. We do a little Sport Beach Cafe kind of experience where we bring athletes together because sports marketing is becoming critically important. But we do the work for the NFL. We did a major ad for Starbucks in that. We'll often, even though we're 1% of the market, be somewhere between 7 and 10% of the Super Bowl ads, and particularly all of those NFL ads that you see.
Which was a big push this year for flag football.
Yes, exactly. And you see then the quality of our creative work. And in today's world, I always say, and some of the other companies have abandoned creativity. Creativity is remaining incredibly important. We made it with technology. We don't do one without the other. It's a false choice.
All right, 2026, February. Super Bowls at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. NBC and Peacock et al. Will be covering the Winter Olympics from Italy. And then the NBA All-Star Game is at your old boss's Steve Ballmer's Intuit Dome in LA. Busy time for you guys ahead. Can you speak about what may happen in February?
It's a little early. People don't really make their Super Bowl plans, but Super Bowl is just one of the tent poles for marketing. I always say that there's news junkies, sports junkies, and entertainment junkies. Marketing really surrounds each three of those different groups. So it's too early to really say what's going to happen. People like to keep their Super Bowl plans secret until the last minute when you unveil it, hopefully to a very positive reception.
Okay. Earlier, Mark, you mentioned the marketing cloud. It's your tech-enabled marketing system. Can you give us a little bit more depth here?
Sure. I think that we've been doing AI before AI was a thing. So we have a whole sense of communications tools that help write news releases, figure out who's going to cover them, do all the placement for you. They really take something that might take somebody 10 hours in the old days and reduce it to an hour. We have global media monitoring that tells you what everybody is saying and gives you an AI-based report on it. We have an influencer marketing platform so that you can run influencer campaigns, which are increasingly popular. We have do-it-yourself research. We have communities. We have automated brand tracking. We have an incredible suite of products for people in media, research, and communications. We just renamed it the Marketing Cloud. In the long term, we want to create some investment opportunities around this. These are primarily SaaS-based, software products that come out of our central innovation team here that does innovation for all the agencies and for the cloud itself.
It sounds like AI, you guys have been involved with it quite some time. The whole world is there now. Meta talked a little bit about it. By the end of 2026, all of its, I guess, creative and planning opportunities will go the AI route. Your take on that, sir? Is that where this world is all heading?
Look, we see AI as our friend because we do a lot of digital transformation, meaning we create a lot of client-centric experiences for companies that are based online. We help design some of the interfaces for some of the tech companies. We are very much a tech company's tech company. The FANG companies are typically among our top 4 or 5 clients with extensive relationships across it. So AI is something that's infused in the business, will make it somewhat more efficient, will make production much, much easier because you can create images that you couldn't create before. but it's also, I think, going to change how every company relates and communicates to its customers. And our code and theory network is very much at the front line of what's called agentic AI.
John Kayan recently became Stagwell's inaugural Chief AI Officer. What's he involved with? Is there a particular mandate that you've put him in charge of?
Yeah, I was very pleased. I knew John at Microsoft. He was really head of data and analytics at Microsoft, and before that had a similar job at IBM. And he is overseeing our overall AI efforts within the company, within the brands, and particularly overseeing also how we're infusing it into the product. We're as far removed as the old kind of Mad Men kind of image of advertising. It's yes, creativity, but yes, technology and AI. And the two of those together are what can make us the right kind of growth company over time.
AI, I think you guys have said it's going to help Stagwell with cost savings. Big money to be saved here.
Yeah, we're building something we call the machine internally. It is the central platform that kind of all accounts will be run on. It deeply incorporates AI, other technologies that we have developed that help place media or help do research. Everyone in every company will be on this single platform. It will be an enormous saver in terms of labor and manpower, and as well as give us a state-of-the-art offering to clients, because it's also the way the clients will interface with their workflows with us.
That savings part of a bigger initiative, which you announced at a virtual investor day back in early April. Take us through that.
Yeah, no, we're taking out somewhere between 70 and $80 million of costs. And then I think there'll be additional opportunities on top of that as we see AI. And you shouldn't get the wrong impression that marketing is going to be a black box and you won't need marketers. You should get the right impression that just like movies got more sophisticated, they didn't go back to silent films. Don't expect marketing to become more primitive because AI helps us. Like movies that after Star Wars and Pixar, they will become increasingly sophisticated, better targeted, more personalized, but the images themselves will be even more moving and more evocative because people see a lot of advertising that really is useless. And I think you're going to see the industry and us do an even stronger job at making more impactful advertising that leverages human creativity, AI, and the World Wide Web to reach you.
You guys have a 5x5 initiative by 2029. Give our listeners, Mark, a little bit of sense for what you're looking to accomplish.
Exactly. In the last 9 years, we've come from zero to close to $3 billion company. And our goal is in the next 5 years to get to a $5 billion company, to do that with a combination of organic growth, which I think is going to be fueled by the scale that we take on so that we get bigger clients. We're just winning, for example, our first government contracts, and that's a market that should be 10 or 15% of our business. AI contracts are coming in on the digital transformation side. Larger clients are coming in. So to get to 5 billion in the next 5 years, and of course, we're also active in the M&A space as a growth company, and that M&A is an important part of that growth.
Let's isolate a little bit on 2025. How are you guys forecasting for this year? And given world situations, Trump tariffs and policies, how does that perhaps impact the ad business?
Generally, I think this is going to be a good year for the ad business. I think it's going to be a year of modest growth in the overall industry. I think that we've been through some rough years. We went through a pandemic where everybody canceled everything. Then we went through a post-pandemic where everybody was on a kind of a sugar high of getting back. Then we had a year of fear of recession and technology cutbacks. Right now, technology, which is our biggest clients, our technology companies, is on a roll. They know that they've got to interest and attract consumers with new AI products, and we're intimately involved in that. I think obviously we don't pay tariffs for the human creativity that we have. We're not finding a big effect with the kinds of clients we have in terms of tariffs. There are some car companies, some retailers, but by and large, this is a good marketplace, should have good growth overall. Good growth is you start with GDP, and then you say, okay, can you achieve something above GDP? I think this will be an above GDP year for marketing.
All right. We're getting to the end here, Mark. What's the Wall Street opportunity for Stagwell? Shakespeare said all the world's a stage. Don Draper must have said it, and Mike Reynolds agrees. All the world's a pitch. Can you give us yours?
Sure. You invest in Stagwell because you believe in the vision that we can build the next great marketing company here for the modern marketer. And you should believe it because I started with me and an assistant and an investment from Steve Ballmer 9 years ago. we've come this far. We've got about 4,000 clients. Some of the most important clients, whether they're tech companies or retailers or providers like Starbucks and Visa and car companies like GM. And we're just going to keep going. That's my 5x5. My 5x5 plan is we're going to get to 5x5 and then have a EBITDA of 800 to $1 billion and have incredible cash flow. And operationally, I think this is going to be based on the machine, based on AI, and based on this great combination of creativity and technology that should get what we always say. It's all about getting the right ad to the right person at the right time. Understand that we're still growing. We're investing in that growth. It's important for us to get that scale. You're investing in a teenager, but when we grow up here in the next 5 years, I think you're going to be an incredible company.
That concludes this episode of MediaTalk. I want to thank our guest, Mark Penn, for giving us a look into Stagwell, the Challenger Marketing Network he heads and is guiding toward a greater digital future. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. And this is Mike Reynolds. Thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch up soon on the next episode of MediaTalk.